Hello, and come join me as we make two different styles of butterflies for our flip-flops to enjoy summer with. As you can see, it also has a decorative trim on the side. Hello, and welcome to this butterfly flip-flop crochet tutorial. In this tutorial, we will be using a pair of flip-flops. Using crochet thread, I have a pink variegated, and I have a purple, solid purple. The size of the crochet thread is a size 10. The size hook that we will be using is a size C2 or a 2.75 millimeter. I have a tapestry needle that is the correct size for using with thread, and a pair of scissors. When working with thread, you have to realize it is a lot smaller, so you need to control the tension a lot more than you would with yarn. Before we begin, I suggest that you unroll some of the thread from the little ball that it comes with, and we're going to start off with a slip knot. We're going to place it on our hook. Now, to wrap the yarn on my hand, I go around in between my ring and my little finger. I come across, and then I go back down through my finger, and I bring it over. When I close my little finger, this also helps control the tension. So here we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And into the very first chain, we're going to slip stitch to make a closed circle. From this point, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. So this is what we have so far. Now, as I go around the circle, I will carry the tail, so that way I can cover it with my stitches. The chain 3 does count as a double crochet. Our next stitch will be a double crochet into the center of our circle. So open it up and make sure that you go in the middle of all of our chain stitches. Chain 1. Now we're going to do 2 double crochets and chain 1. There's 1, and there's 2 double crochets and chain 1. Continue the 2 double crochets and chain 1 4 more times. Okay, so at this point we should have 6. We are going to create 2 more. So double crochet number 1, number 2, chain 1, 1, 2. Okay, now before we chain 1, double count to make sure that you have 8 sets of 2 double crochets, and remember our chain 3 was also considered a double crochet, so that's 1 set, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we are going to do a single crochet into the top of the chain 3. The single crochet gives us the same equivalent as a chain 1. Once you're done there, going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. In our same space that we just did our single crochet and up the chain 3, that is considered a double crochet. We're going to add another double crochet in that same space. We're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and in that same space 2 more double crochets. 1 and 2. Now let's move on to our next chain 1 space. We're going to place 2 double crochets, chain 2, 1, 2, 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. Okay, so in each of the chain 1 spaces around, repeat the 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets in each chain 1 space, and do not add any chains after you completed the 1 section right here. Go all the way around till you come here, and I'll meet you there. And this is what we have so far. So let's go ahead and slip stitch into the top of the chain 3. And then we're going to slip stitch into the chain 2 space. Chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. And this will count as a double crochet. We're going to place 7 more double crochets in the same chain 2 space. So we will end up with a total of 8. So I have the chain 3, which is 1. Here's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now, the space that's in between the 2 double crochets, the 2 sets, we're going to place a single crochet. Now, in case you get ahead of me, we're going to be making some changes on this row, so stay with me. Okay? So, our next chain 2 space, we're going to do 8 double crochets again. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then we will single crochet in between the 2 right here again. Okay, So now these next two chain 2 spaces are going to be a little different. So we are going to 3 double crochet, 1, 2, and 3. Going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to chain 2 more, 1, 2. Now go back to the third one, so we're skipping 2 chains, and we're going to slip stitch. This is where fingernails help. Okay, let's chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we're going to go back into our same space here and 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3. I guess you can hear all the birds. It is morning as I'm video recording this, and it seems like the birds just love to say welcome to a new day as well. So here we are in between our 2 sets of 2 double crochets. Place a single crochet there. Now we're going to repeat what we just did in this last chain 2 space. So 3 double crochets, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. I usually place my thumb there because it helps. 1, 2 for our little picot, and then go back to the number 3 that we did and do a slip stitch, and then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then back into our chain 2 space, 1, 2, 1 more. And then single crochet. Okay, so what we've just done here, the 2 scallops of the 8 double crochets, single crochet, 8 double crochets, single crochet, 3, chain 3, chain 2, slip stitch, chain 3, 3 double crochet, single crochet. What we've just done here, repeat again here. So here you should have this in these 2 spots right here. These 2 should be straight across from each other. Go ahead and get all the way over there to the other side, and we'll slip stitch, and then we're going to change our colors. So at the end of this row, this is what you should have. We have the 2 across from each other and the 2 across from each other. Okay, now we need to single crochet into the space in between the 2 double crochets, and then we're going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 3. Okay, then let's cut our yarn and finish this off. Okay, and what the idea is when we fold it, you see how this one has like a little bit of extra. Okay, so let's put another, we're going to put our purple around it. I'm going to also do a second version in the same video of another butterfly that you might want to try. So, but we'll finish this one first. Okay, so let's get our purple, and we're going to add it to the outside here. So, as before, have a little tail. Let's make a slip knot here. Now we're going to start where we stopped at. We'll sew our tails in just a little bit. So you want to pick up the last 2 stitches of that slip stitch, and then we're going to start off with a slip stitch. I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2, and in the next stitch do another slip stitch and chain 2, 1, 2. So on each one of these scallops here, we're going to be doing the same thing: slip stitch, chain 2. Now the nice thing about using this cotton thread is that it is color fast, so you don't have to worry about if it gets wet, will the colors bleed onto your feet or something. I haven't had any problems with it, with that issue. Okay, chain 2. And you also want to go down into that single crochet and slip stitch, chain 2. And here we're going to go over the next scallop. Did I chain 2? I don't think I did. Oh yeah, I did. Okay, chain 2 and a slip stitch, chain 2. We're almost there to that part. 1, 2. See how it looks already? Looks pretty, doesn't it? I hope you really like the look on your flip-flops with this. I think it is so pretty. Reminds me of spring and summer mixed together. 1, 2. I got busy talking and almost did a single crochet. 1, 2. There's a slip stitch. 1, 2. Here we are. Slip stitch. Oops. I pulled my tension a little too tight. 1, 2. One, 2. Now as we come down here to the bottoms, we are not going to add any chains. We're just going to slip stitch. 1, 2. Okay, so on that last one, I just slip stitched. Now we're going to go ahead and slip stitch down the chain. Must still allow a little bit of the white to peek through. Now we're not going to go around the picot, but we want the picot to be up on top. So we're going to go behind it and allow that picot to be on top of the purple. So you want to bring your hook behind it and do your slip stitch. And see how that brings that little amount up? Okay, so let's keep slip stitching. Whoops, We only want to pick up just the one thread, and make sure your stitches are not tight, because if they're too tight they won't look right. Okay, so now here we are. We just did the first, so let's chain 2. We're going to slip stitch into the next one. Okay, so you've seen what I've done, going all the way around with a slip stitch and chain 2, and when you got down here you want to just slip stitch. So keep on going all the way around till you get back here. We're going to slip stitch and then cut our thread and move on to the next thing. So I'll see you then. Go ahead and pause the video so that way you'll be in the same place when you're ready to move on. Alright, I have gone all the way around, and at the very last one, okay, I did my slip stitch, chain 2. I'm going to slip stitch into that first one so it'll give the look of a completed circle. Okay, now I'm going to cut my thread and finish it up. Okay, so this is what we have. Now I plan on spraying mine with stiffener. Let me show you what the package looks like. I bought this at Michael's Arts and Crafts. It is designed for crochet and doilies. This costs me about $5 in the United States. But what I'll do is, after I shape it to the way I want it, and everything is completed, I will go ahead and spray it so it will be stiff. Okay, so we've completed this part. Let's add our little tentacles. We're going to use the purple again. Let's place another slip knot on our hook. Okay, so we're going to fold it in half with our long parts down. Okay, and I'm going to pick up a few stitches here and just do a slip stitch. It's actually the ring from the chain 5 when we first started. So let's go ahead and we're going to chain 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay. And I dropped it. Oh, gee. Okay. So now we're going to take this, we're going to wrap it around twice. So it will pull down. So there's 1 and there's 2. Okay, so I'm going to loosen it up just a little bit, and then I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch back into that chain 5. Oops, I dropped my slip stitch. Here we go, let's pick it up again. There we go. Okay, so here we are. Now for the little antennas, we're going to chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 5. Chain 5 instead. And then we're going to come back in each one with a single crochet. That'll give it a little bit of thickness. 1. So we want to chain 5. We're going to skip the first chain and we're going to do 4 single crochets. 2, 3, and here's that last one, number 4. Okay, and then we're going to slip stitch into the purple, which the color I used. Okay, and let's chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to skip that first chain and single crochet 4 more times. There's 1, 2, 3, and here's number 4. Sometimes the thread, it's so small sometimes to see. Okay, and then I'm going to go the opposite direction, so it'll lay in a different direction, and slip stitch again. There we go. Okay, let's cut our thread. There we go, and finish it off. Okay, now even though we have all of our little strings, they will get sewn in. So here is our little butterfly. Let me move the strings out of the way for you. And he does come up. Okay. So okay, so let me weave in all the ends, and we'll show you how to do this part here. And remember to stay tuned. I'm going to show you how to do a second butterfly of a different look. So let me show you how to thread your needle. Take your yarn and fold it over, and take that folded end and work it through the needle. If you use the raw edges, it has a tendency to split open and cause it to fray. So we want to take the pink and stay within the same colors as much as possible. And I'm just going to weave it in and out since everything is so close together. Now place a little knot there. And for the white, even though it's so close to the purple, we're still going to go ahead and take and weave our yarns with the same colors that we have. So you want to try and, even though it's a variegated, you want to try and stay with the white coloring. So I'm just bouncing over there. And I'm going to go over one so I don't pull out what I just stuck in. Okay, and I have the 2. Now the 2 that are right here at the end, I'm going to go ahead and put them on the needle at the same time. And just work those guys in. And we're going to go over the, weave into the purple here. Okay, so I went through 3. I'm going to go over the 1 and come back through 3, but also go into another 3. And since it's on the back side, you really won't be able to see it. Okay. And I have the 2 left from the center. So I'll go ahead and stitch those in, and I'll show you also how to spray your butterfly to give it a 3D effect. And like I said, keep staying tuned. I'm going to show you how to do a second butterfly of a different look. For the second part of our tutorial, we will be using the stiffening spray glue that is designed for crochet and doilies. I have some stainless steel pins that are designed not to rust if they get wet. I have a piece of aluminum foil on top of a piece of cardboard. And my butterfly. So the first thing that we're going to want to do, adjust my light here so you can see better, is with our straight pins, going to place the antenna part into, okay, and then we want to take and pull down, not hard, but just gently enough to hold the body in place. Now remember, all these pins will come out. They're not staying there. If you can see some of my pins, you can see the glue that's been on them from before. Okay, so the little picots that we have here, let's go ahead and pull that down a little. And then the rest up here, we're going to stretch it out just a little. I just hope this doesn't seem like a lot of effort to you, because it's really not, but when it's dry and done, it really looks so cute. Okay, and so we're going to pull this out just a little bit, and I'm going to raise it up on my pin so that it'll have that 3D look of being up in the air. Also, the angle of your pins does make a difference. And so I'm just going to place one here to help pull this out, and I'm going to raise it up, and another one right here. There we go. Now, to show you what I have, can you see how the butterfly is up in the air like that? Okay. So I am done pinning. There we go. Now I'm going to take a double look at it and make sure it's giving me the look that I want. This one's up a little too high. There we go. Okay. Then I'm going to take my glue and shake it a little. Make sure nothing is sitting on the bottom. And then spray. Well, it's at an angle, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it like this and spray it over my floor area. Let's see. Okay, you hear it coming out? Okay, and then you have to let it set for 24 hours. To dry. So here's my wet butterfly. After you get it on there and shape it, make sure you spray under here, and as it dries, it will dry in that shape that you have it in. Okay, so let's move on to our next butterfly. We're going to be using the same colors. For our second butterfly, we're going to be starting out the same way. I'm going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slip stitch into that first chain. I picked up the tail. And we're going to chain 3. Okay, so we're doing the same thing we did, so I'm not going to go too slow. I'm just going to go at my normal speed. 1 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochets, chain 1. Okay, and we're going to continue with the 2 double crochets, chain 1 until we have 8 sets. Alright, now I have my 8 sets, so I am going to single crochet into the top of the chain 3 and then chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And in the same space right over the top of that single crochet, we're going to do 1 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochets in the same space. Like I said before, it's the same as our first one. And then in the next chain 1 space, 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and continue that all the way around. Then slip stitch into the top of the chain 3 and slip stitch into the chain 2 space. Chain 3. Alright, now this one all the way around we're going to do the exact same thing in each chain 2 space. So go ahead and place 8 double crochets per chain 2 space, and remember for this first one the chain 3 does count as 1 double crochet. I did pull my yarn out a little and it still wants to tangle up on me. Hang on a second. Okay, so even though you pull your string out, it still knots up on you, huh? Happens to all of us. Okay, so I have 7 so far. Here's number 8. And then a single crochet in between. Okay, so go ahead and do the 8 and the single crochet in between, and I'll meet you right here at the end. Alright, and this is what we should have. I've single crocheted into the first space. Now I'm going to slip stitch to the top of the chain 3. Okay, after finishing this one, I'm going to go ahead and weave in my pink, and then I'm going to attach my purple. Okay, so let's add at where we ended with a slip stitch. Oops. Okay, chain 1, and then we're going to single crochet in the same space here. Okay, now we're going to chain 2. Now on the other one we did slip stitches, but in this one we're going to do single crochets and chain 2. They give it a little bit more color on the outside and it'll look super nice. So do that in each stitch around, including the single crochets. And this is what we have so far. So continue around and slip stitch, and we'll finish it that way, and we'll move on. At the end you'll see that it is kind of ripply. This is okay. So here I've gotten to the end. I've slip stitched into the first one, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue on. I'm going to chain 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And so here basically I'm going to fold this in half. Make sure you have 2 scallops here. And then I'm going to take this chain and I'm going to wrap it around twice and come up here to where our chain 5 is from where we first started. I'm going to make a slip stitch. Well, in this case, a single crochet. Okay, you can see how our little butterfly is taking shape again. So continue on with the chain 5 and 4 single crochets twice, and that'll complete this particular butterfly. Okay, and so here is the picture of the 2 together. This one is with the glue. Okay, let's move on to our sandal. Okay, so we're going to move on. So with our, if you want, you can try and pop it out, or I'm just going to leave it in there. I'm not going to pop it out. I got a slip knot on my hook. I'm going to go behind, pull up my thread, and I'm going to make it even and do like a single crochet. So I'm going to go around, okay. I'm going to try and keep it up here at the top. You're going to have to tighten your stitches here. But I'm not bringing them all together. I'm going to make them so that they're loose right here. So I'm going to go around, pick up the yarn, and complete my stitch. I'm going to do this all the way around to here, and then I'll finish it with a slip knot. Okay, now you can see I've gotten around to the other side. I'm going to finish this with a, just pull the yarn or this thread through. Now as I was doing this, I found that I liked this look right here where the chain stitch comes down the center. So all you have to do is take this and twist it, and it will move. There we go. So I will weave these ends in, and to cut this video short, here we go with our little sandal with our butterfly on it. Of course, I'm going to put the stiffener on it so everything will be correct. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you make one. Share it with me. I'd love to see it. Happy summer. Bye-bye.